Welcome back to the GSL Code A. We've got perhaps the most exciting match of the night. It's going to be Hero against JYP. As you can see, here are our results. July, of course, fell 1-2 to Lenok. Lenok holding off his aggression, and then we're going to have Lenok play against Seed, so that's a tough match for Seed, playing against one of the best Zergs in the world in his round 3 match, but he's already secured his spot in the up and down matches. Yes, and wouldn't it be crazy if Seed actually just went straight into Code S?
That would be pretty crazy. You know, he hasn't been on the radar very much lately, and suddenly he's, boom, in Code A and playing really well. But he has to go through Lenok to do so. That's going to be a tough match for him. It's going to be next week. And but yeah, first we're going to have a PvP, Protoss versus Protoss, coming up here.
We're going to take a look at actually Ryung versus Hart. Now, remember, Hart recently moved teams. He was teamless for a very brief period of time before Complexity snatched him up and put him as part of their roster, as part of the 3-step process, I guess. They got Nada as well. Gotta watch out who's Complexity going to grab next. Slayer's Ryung down a game here, and by the looks of things, it looks like Ryung is pretty ahead in this game. He's taken only gases of this expansion initially, of course, thanks to SCVs now. No orbital or planetary there. That's what our observer's highlighting. I guess it's actually Caldor observing, but
remember, Hart, he actually is the one that took out Bomber last a couple weeks ago. So this guy, you know, he is not very well known, but he's apparently playing very well, taking out Bomber, and now getting a game up on Ryung, and looking to be good in position to maybe actually take out Ryung entirely right now as we're watching this. Hellions are coming in from behind here, are going to do some major damage, and he actually might just kill him right here. The siege tanks are still alive. Marauders killing off Hellions. Vikings landing, and it looks like Hart is barely going to get cleaned up for now, but wow.
Ryung just has a really solid composition. And I feel like Ryung is still pretty ahead in this game, especially with the base at the top left.
I didn't realize there were so many tanks coming from behind there.
Yeah, I think that Hart's actually in a little bit of trouble. This drop, though, is going to come into contact with the base. We do not have information about whether or not that base has yet been spotted, but it looks like, based on this drop ship that's going around, it looks like Hart knows about it. He is going to stim and run in here. He definitely knows about it. It's going to force a lift. He's going to kill several SCVs as well. Did he bring any Hellions to join the fray? It's hard to say. I cannot see.
It's been lifted.
Yeah, there's some Hellions coming in and some tanks. He actually might save it. The SCV stuck around in order to repair, and actually Ryung just gets farther ahead. He's going to lose a few Hellions and take out that entire army.
He just has a better composition overall, even though he lost some SCVs and his supply is fairly even. I feel like Ryung is pulling ahead in the better composition.
Vikings as well. He's down to 4 against 2.
Yeah, definitely.
60
so Ryung's not out of it yet, even though Hart was able to take out Bomber last week. May not take out Ryung after all.
Player with a little bit of a problem now.
And I mean, I got to point out that those games against Bomber, a couple of them were just cheesy games where he kind of went for a rush strategy and Bomber went for like a 1-Rax expand or commence there first. And
definitely didn't want to play the late game against Bomber, that's for sure. I saw those games, and well, Bomber has been the player who has never been consistent enough to stay in Code S long term, and now he's out entirely. He's going to have to requalify.
Yeah.
Hard to say if he'll be able to do it. I know he has the potential to do it, but that's not always what it comes down to in the qualifiers, man. That is like another dimension, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, the qualifiers is where you're going to see players doing all-in strategies, just trying to get past, especially a player like Bomber. You know, if it's your first time in Code B in the qualifiers, you're going to be a little afraid of Bomber, and you're going to try and cheese him out, probably. Anyway.
Absolutely a possibility. Now, notice Ryung is taking control of the center here. His siege tank count not as strong as it used to be compared to his opponent. Now, Hart has a bunch of SCVs over there. Looks like he wants to just put them at this expansion, but smartly hides them from the Hellion. Now, +2 is about to finish for Ryung, and I feel still Ryung with the better composition, but what I like about what Hart is doing here is something that a lot of Terrans have not done, and I've been talking about this for forever, is if you go bio against mech, you have to eventually switch into siege tank tech. You have to have both, and that is what he's doing. Oh, I really like this.
That's cool. That is cool. I don't. Can he hit the SCVs from there? Do you know?
He can, I believe, but I think he's getting a turret first. It's hard to say, actually.
Scan goes off. He has to scan to get range, and he's still getting those turrets.
Yeah, I don't think he can hit the SCVs. Otherwise, I think he would be targeting them.
Scan if he wants to kill it though, but it is going to burn down very soon. There's the 4.
We can see a command center being floated over there for Hart, and
Yeah,
to
Hart's
be
not out of
honest,
it yet. He's actually macroing up pretty well.
his supply is fluctuating here and getting closer to his opponent, and it seems to be that he's adding those tanks into his composition. The tank count was fluctuating a little bit there, and then Hart started to catch up in tank count, and that's what's so important. But again, Ryung still has that so-important Viking count, and as you guys could see on the stream, there were Vikings everywhere. That's where he had to scan every time when he wanted to kill those turrets. But enough of that game. If you want to check out the rest of that series, go to the stream B, watch Caldor, because right now we have a PvP.
Yes, indeed. We're going to have those two players right there. Liquid Hero.
Look at their rankings, 84 and 85.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
So close.
Look at the record, though. Obviously, Hero not as good overall as JYP. Now, I looked at the PvP record for Hero. It's also less than stellar. In international events, he's got about 70% win rate, but those are against a lot of players whose skill level, to be quite honest, is nowhere near that of Korea. So his win rate against Pros definitely not as good as JYP's. JYP much more known for his PvP, but obviously for that reason, Hero's probably got some special builds planned here. Our first map is going to be Crossfire, which, by the way, I know a lot of you have probably heard about this by now, but this is the last season that Crossfire will be in the map pool. So, a fact I am very happy about.
Wolf has actually invited everyone on stream to a going away party. He's so thrilled that Crossfire is leaving the map pool.
Yeah, man.
Jumping up and down.
Come to the studio.
He's not on the camera right now. You can't see, but he's jumping up and down, clicking his heels in the air. All right, game number 1 is about to begin. JYP versus Hero. EG versus Liquid. We're going to find out who can take the game 1, who will have the superior PvP. Here's the GSL Code A. All right, up here in the top left, his teammate HeyPro is in the building here to cheer on his Protoss brother. This is none other than
Liquid Hero.
Yep, we did have a HeyPro spotting. He's hanging out with Karn right now, actually.
Yep. There he is. And down here at the bottom left of Crossfire is Protoss players. Still might be considered up and coming.
JYP.
Both players going for 11 gate. A very smart choice for Crossfire, a map where 4 gates are quite popular. Even though there are a lot of ramps, people do like to 4 gate this map. And JYP smartly checking for proxies first. I'm really excited to see how this PvP. I'm like actually brimming with excitement right now, Moltrap. Gas is going down at very normal timings as well. Now, will we see Chrono on the first Zealot like Oz likes to do, or are we just going to see the faster core? Second pylon goes down very quickly for Hero. And his gas is delayed as a result.
By the way, you saw that little thing pop up there. Game directing by Heaven. Heaven is the name, the ID of the Korean observer. We have Legend doing our observing here on the English stream. Heaven, though, former pro gamer, he is actually so good. I've watched him observe, watched him in action, and he is so crisp.
You have observed his observing.
I've observed his observing.
Hero chrono boosted out that Zealot, like I was mentioning earlier, and the probe does see this. So essentially, by the time the Zealot gets there, the Zealot of JYP will pop out just in time. He may have to pull a probe, micro it a little bit against that first Zealot, but even though it's been chrono boosted, he was delayed by that probe even slightly. So the early Zealot for Hero probably will not accomplish anything at all except some additional scouting. Now the chrono boost energy for JYP is at 71 right now. Hero is at the exact same. Both players with their warp gate research starting here. Hero's warp gate research a little bit delayed. In fact, he doesn't have enough minerals to even start it.
Oh, that was 4 or 5 seconds, and that can actually be a big deal if it comes down to a rush build. Now, we don't know actually if JYP is going to do any kind of a rush, but if he does, might make a difference. Probe just wandering around in the base here. Where did that Zealot go? Did he just retreat it to the watchtower?
Yeah, he took it at the watchtower. Now, he's actually going to be able to spot the direction in which JYP's probe goes. So that's going to be really important. I think it's hard to say.
The probe was attempting to take that same watchtower, and it's going to get chased away.
Stalker is out to chase away the probe. And, it looks like JYP may indeed lose this Stalker. Not the best control. It looks like he may be able to save this probe. A lot going on here. Probe does go down. Right now, the second gas has been taken by both players. A sentry being produced. Neither player committing to 4-gate. Now chrono boosting appropriately on not only the warp gate research, but also those sentries to get them out just to ensure that safe transition into the tech. The third gateway going down for Hero.
Yeah. Hero's being really aggressive here, but he's actually, I mean, this is almost a little bit of a false aggression. He's gotten a sentry of his own. He's just now getting a couple extra gateways, but hold on.
Oh no! The Stalker is trapped! Hero gonna lose a lot of units. A little bit of too much micro, I feel, from JYP. There he goes, now pulling just back the sentry. It will target down these Zealots. He needs to pull back the Stalker on the left.
He's actually targeting down the Zealots, and that means he's actually going to lose his Stalker while he kills the Zealot, which was not what he should have done. He should have targeted down the Stalkers alone, and now he's at a little bit of a disadvantage in his own base, and Hero has 3 gates to only 2 of JYP.
But meanwhile, back at the base of Hero, he has a Twilight Council finish. JYP has a Robo, but the Nexus is planted. He may go for Blink here. Yeah, there is Blink. He did not see his opponent's robotics tech, however, so he has no idea what he's up against.
Interesting. Yeah, I was thinking like, oh, he has 3 warp gates, he can warp in more units and continue this pressure, but he actually had not even quite finished warp gate tech, and he hadn't put a forward pylon, so I got a little too excited there.
It's a scout move. He wanted to get into the main base. He didn't expect to lose that many units, but by the way, he traded efficiently and scouted almost the Robo. He scouted everywhere on the base except where the Robo was, so he's got to be a little bit frustrated about that, but he's taken the Nexus now. A little bit of a risk on Hero's part. If his opponent had been going for some sort of Dark Templar tech, he'd be in a lot of trouble right now, but he's going to take the risk. His Nexus is almost done. JYP going up to 4 gateways now. And will we see him add a robotic support bay as he scouts the Nexus? That is what I'm really curious about, because he's so behind in his Nexus. What can he really do? He still does not know, though. His opponent has gone for the Nexus, and the Blink Stalker pressure from Hero is going to keep him in his base for a while. I feel like Hero's really ahead at this point. There's the robotic support bay.
Yes, indeed. Blink is about to complete as well. So, yeah, Hero just has a huge advantage here. He's got the extra base finishing up and now mining, and I mean, JYP has a little bit of a tech advantage. He's getting the robotic support bay. That's basically what it's going to come down to, is JYP is going to have to do something with the tech advantage, maybe go for get 2 Colossus and go out or something like that.
That's his only choice.
But I think Hero is already mining. I think he's going to have enough units out that he's going to be able to deal with that. His economy is so good right now.
You would be surprised at what those 2 Colossus can do, though, and I like this.
Oh, nice.
A Blink Scout comes in here, sees the Robo. He's also going to see the robotic support bay finish up. And he may even be able to escape. Nah, not quite.
No, if he can save the Blink for that downhill, but no. Gets polished off, but that Stalker was worth its weight.
Oh, he doesn't blink.
Oh, no!
Oh, no! He's going to target down the Immortal. But losing some Stalkers in the process. A weird choice here, but it ends up working out with the force field here. I'm not sure why JYP decided to go down like that, but that was awkward. It was hard to say who was really going to come out on top there. Really nice micro by Hero. Better than I even thought physically possible, to be quite honest. I was like, well, he's going to target down the Immortal. That's crazy. Does take out that probe there. Doesn't want to deal with that. The first Colossus is a 4th of the way done here. No range started just yet for JYP, but he will be starting it fairly soon. And back at Hero's base, he's got the Nexus fully saturated. He has those Blink Stalkers. He actually barely missed the pylon on the right side of the map with his Stalkers. He doesn't take that out. He's getting his own charge now, interestingly enough.
Interesting. And just goes in, does a little bit of a poke.
Oh, wow. I am just so amazed at Hero's micro here.
Hero, that's something that has really impressed me with Hero in the past, is his micro is so good. I remember watching do a PVZ, actually, he blinks on top of the Colossus. Is he going to get it? No! Doesn't get the Colossus, loses a few Stalkers, and JYP...
Why is he moving the Colossus forward? He did it!
What is going on here? He's pulled probes? Did he pull probes? Or is that just like one probe?
No probes pulled.
No, never mind. I'm just confused. He has 2 probes. No, he has 4 or 5 probes in that army.
Miss rally, yeah, it looks like a little bit of a miss rally.
That's weird.
Because those probes actually, what? He actually does have 6 probes here. Well, he's oversaturated, so I guess that was his idea, but I'd rather see him long distance mine. Because the probes here are going to actually take away from the DPS of the Zealots in a fight. Because the Zealots are not going to be able to fight, where the probes are blocking them. This is a really strong timing by JYP. He doesn't have the Colossus anymore. He's lost that critical piece.
Well, 6 probes is going to absorb, a dozen or 2 shots from those Stalkers, I guess, if they attack them. They just...
Notice he's going around the left side because Hero has a Sentry with 200 energy to block ramps. Charge is done. He doesn't have very many Zealots. There's only 1 Sentry in the mix for JYP. Not enough energy for force fields, and he doesn't have Blink, so the Zealots are going to close in and do so much damage.
And he needs to blink that out. He does. A couple of force fields go down.
They work against Hero, though. A weird choice.
Oh, and he's even snuck a couple Stalkers in there, but it doesn't matter. It's all down to this one attack. If JYP is going to have any chance in this game, he has to win this now. A blink in. He picks off the Immortal. No. Yes, he does get the Immortal, and it's just down to numbers right now. Yep. JYP has so few units compared to Liquid Hero, and Hero has more Warpins, more economy. GG. Liquid Hero has taken game number 1.
Better scouting, better build overall, I have to say. Even JYP blindly made the robotic support bay without even scouting the Nexus. Very late, missed his timing. And he should not have lost that Colossus. He should not have lost that. If he didn't lose the Colossus, he can even walk straight in. He shaves off a few seconds with his attack. Force fields no longer matter to him. The Colossus adding DPS into the Zealots there would have been so helpful. And if he loses 1 Colossus, he can't even start another one because the 2 Colossus is so important. So he loses the first one, he was like, well, I actually just missed the timing now with the Colossus. I've got to do something else. No blink, no charge. My opponent's got 2 bases for way too long. Nice aggression, nice scouting move by Hero. I was a little bit surprised he committed all the way there, but even so, it worked out for him. And I liked his blink scout in. He saw the robotic support bay, which he should have actually known anyways, considering that his opponent didn't have a Nexus, and what's he going to do, get late blink and then just attack? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so. I don't know. Yeah, that was just that was just a train wreck there. Yeah. And I'm a little puzzled again by, he moved out with 1 Colossus, kind of let it get sniped, didn't really control it that well.
Yeah, he should always, if your opponent has blink, you should always keep the Colossus back, bring it in after the blink is over. At the very least, he saved it the first time and killed a lot of Stalkers. That was great. Then he just 1-8 his Colossus back forward again and to get sniped. And I have to say, Hero's Micro, I've never seen someone target down an Immortal like that in the face of other Stalkers and blink away perfectly and not losing these Stalkers. I have never seen that before.
That was amazing.
That was my first time.
Yeah, Hero is so good. His Micro is just impeccable. What I started to say before is I was watching him in a PvZ once, and he was surrounded by banelings and roaches and everything, and he just, in the midst of all of this, managed to get perfect force fields to block out the banelings, storming everything. It was beautiful to behold.
It's like he has, I've said this before, it's like the game is his touchscreen, and he's just dragging the units around in a perfect formation, like with perfect ease. He's like a musician. I've said about this guy for a while. He's a musician, man. He's like a conductor of music with his play.
He's got the first ever brain interface. He just thinks of what should happen, and it does it. But JYP is not out yet, though. A little bit of a build order loss. Can he turn it into a win in game number 2 to tie up the series? We're going to find out on Dual Sight in just a second.